when my wife told me I was nothing more than her roommate while wearing the diamond necklace I'd bought her. Laughing with him on our anniversary, I smiled and agreed. She thought she'd broken me. She had no idea I'd already emptied our accounts, sold the house, and disappeared 3 hours before her lover's wife arrived. If you've ever felt invisible in your own home, hit that like button. And stick around because what I discovered next changed everything. Subscribe so you don't miss how this ends. You know that feeling when you're so comfortable in your life that you don't notice it's falling apart around you? That was me. Curtis Brennan, 34 years old, software architect, married to the woman I thought was my soulmate. 6 years of marriage, 9 years together total. I genuinely believed we had it all figured out. Our house was the kind you see in magazines, the kind that makes people stop and stare when they drive by. We had successful careers, matching coffee mugs with our initials on them, and a social media presence that screamed relationship goals. People envied us. Hell, I envied us sometimes. Every morning, I'd wake up before Sienna and make her coffee exactly how she liked it, 2 sugars. A splash of oat milk, heated to precisely 140 degrees. I'd leave little notes on the bathroom mirror with dry erase markers. Stupid stuff like "you're amazing" or "can't wait to see you tonight." I planned surprises constantly. Random flowers on Wednesdays. Her favorite Thai takeout when she mentioned a rough day at work. Weekend getaways to that bed and breakfast she loved in the mountains. I thought I was being romantic. I thought I was being a good husband. Looking back, I was just being blind. The distance crept in so gradually that I convinced myself it was normal. Marriages evolve, right? People get comfortable. She stopped responding to my texts with the same enthusiasm. The goodnight kisses became obligatory pecks. Our conversations shifted from dreams and plans to grocery lists and bill payments. But I told myself this was just life. This was what happens after the honeymoon phase fades. This was us growing up together. Then came our anniversary. 6 years. I'd planned everything perfectly. Took the day off work without telling her. Spent hours cooking her favorite meal, homemade pasta carbonara from scratch. The recipe I'd practiced for weeks to get right. I'd bought 24 red roses, set up candles throughout the dining room, and even created a playlist of songs from our early dating days. I'd saved for 3 months to buy her this diamond necklace she'd casually mentioned liking when we'd walked past a jewelry store. 3 months of skipping lunches and cutting back on everything else because I wanted to see her face light up. She came home at 7:30, an hour late without a text or call. Walked right past the roses without commenting. Sat down at the table, still staring at her phone, this little smile playing at her lips as her fingers flew across the screen. Someone was making her laugh. Someone was making her glow. And it wasn't me. I placed the necklace box next to her plate. She glanced at it, opened it with one hand while still typing with the other, and said, "Oh, thanks. Not I love it. Not you shouldn't have. Just thanks." Like I'd handed her a receipt instead of 3 months of sacrifice. I tried to hold her hand across the table. She pulled away, still not looking up from her phone. Then she said it, the words that would replay in my mind for weeks. "Curtis, you're acting clingy. God, you're like a puppy that won't stop following me around. Can't you understand? We're basically just roommates who share a bed at this point." She said it so casually, like she was commenting on the weather. Never even looked up from her phone. I just sat there, fork frozen halfway to my mouth, watching the woman I loved dismiss 6 years of marriage like it was nothing. She finally glanced up, saw my face, and rolled her eyes. "Don't be so dramatic. I'm just saying we need space. Independence. Like adults." I couldn't sleep that night. Couldn't even close my eyes. I lay there in the darkness, listening to her breathing beside me, feeling like a stranger in my own bed. Around 2 in the morning, her phone lit up on the nightstand. Once, twice, 3 times in rapid succession. The vibration sounded like thunder in the silent room. I'm not a jealous person. Never have been. In 9 years together, I'd never once looked through her phone, never questioned where she was going or who she was with. But something in my gut twisted. Something screamed that I needed to know. My hands were shaking as I picked up her phone. No password, she'd removed it months ago, said it was annoying to keep unlocking it. The name on the screen made my blood run cold. Damian Westbrook. 3 heart emojis after his name. I opened the messages, and my entire world collapsed. Can't stop thinking about this afternoon. You taste like heaven. My throat closed up. I couldn't breathe. I scrolled up, my vision blurring as message after message revealed the truth I'd been too stupid to see. 3 more days until Curtis leaves for Seattle. 72 hours until I have you all to myself in that bed of his. The words felt like knives. God, he's so pathetically clueless. Doesn't suspect a thing. Made me dinner tonight with candles and everything. I almost felt bad. Almost. There was a laughing emoji after that. She'd been texting her lover while I'd sat across from her at our anniversary dinner. While I'd watched her open the necklace I'd sacrificed for. While my heart had been breaking and I hadn't even known why yet, I kept scrolling. Weeks of messages. Months, maybe. Only staying until my promotion comes through. His salary has been covering my expenses nicely, though. Perks of having a devoted husband, right? Another laughing emoji. Another knife in my chest? Then I saw the photo. Them together, intimate, unmistakable, taken in my house. In my living room, on the couch I'd assembled myself. It's the one we'd picked out together at that furniture store on a rainy Saturday 3 years ago. I looked over at Sienna sleeping peacefully beside me, and I didn't recognize her. The stranger wearing my wife's face. Damian Westbrook. The name clicked into place. Her work friend she'd mentioned casually over the past year. The colleague she'd grabbed drinks with. The guy she'd assured me was just nice when I'd asked if he was the reason she was staying late so often. Something happened in that moment, staring at those messages in the dark. Something inside me that had been warm and trusting turned ice cold. I didn't cry. Didn't scream. Didn't shake her awake and demand answers. Instead, I felt this strange clarity wash over me, like I'd been living in fog for months and suddenly everything was sharp and clear. She wanted to treat me like a roommate? She wanted to use me while planning her exit. Fine, I could play that game too. And I'd play it better. I put her phone back exactly where it had been. Screen down, same angle. Lay back down and stared at the ceiling until sunrise. By the time light filtered through the curtains, I had a plan. Not a revenge fantasy. Not some emotional outburst. A strategy. Cold, methodical, and absolutely bulletproof. The next morning, I made her coffee like always. Left a note on the mirror. Kissed her cheek as she left for work. She barely acknowledged any of it, already on her phone texting him. But I smiled. I actually smiled. Because she had no idea what was coming. Over breakfast that Saturday, Sienna casually mentioned my upcoming conference in Seattle. 10 days mid-next month. She tried to hide her excitement, but I caught it. The way her eyes lit up. The subtle smile. You should definitely go, she said, touching my arm with fake concern. I know how important these networking events are for your career. I agreed enthusiastically, even suggested she use the time to relax and recharge. The relief on her face was almost funny. Almost she probably texted Damien the second I left the room. That afternoon, I called my college roommate Victor. He'd become a divorce attorney, one of the best in the state. We met at a bar across town where nobody knew us. I told him everything, showed him screenshots I'd taken of her messages. Victor's face grew serious as he read. Curtis, this is solid evidence. Your state has fault-based divorce laws. Infidelity matters here. How do you want to handle this? I told him I wanted to do it right. Legal. Airtight. He nodded slowly, then mentioned a private investigator he'd worked with before. Her name's Marlo. She's expensive, but she's worth every penny. If you want documentation that'll hold up in court, she's your person. I hired Marlo that week. Mid-40s, sharp eyes, all business. No sympathy, no judgment, just professional competence. I'll need 2 weeks minimum, she said. Maybe 3 to build a comprehensive case. Can you maintain normalcy that long? I told her I could maintain it as long as necessary. And I did. For 2.5 weeks, I was the perfect husband. Supportive, attentive, loving. I complimented Sienna's outfits, asked about her day, suggested date nights that she always found excuses to avoid. Meanwhile, Marlo sent me updates. Photos of Damien entering our house 20 minutes after I left for work. Video of them at hotels downtown. Receipts showing charges to our joint credit card for romantic dinners I never attended. Time-stamped evidence of every lie, every betrayal, every moment she thought she was getting away with it. The morning I was supposed to leave for Seattle, I played my role perfectly. Suitcases by the door, laptop bag over my shoulder, conference itinerary printed and visible on the kitchen counter. Sienna was practically vibrating with barely contained excitement, though she tried to hide it behind concern. You have everything? Chargers? Presentation notes? I kissed her forehead, told her I'd miss her, that I'd call every night. She nodded distractedly, already reaching for her phone before I'd even turned away. Have a safe flight, babe, she said without looking up. Those were the last normal words my wife would ever speak to me. I drove around the corner and parked 3 blocks away, in the lot behind an abandoned grocery store where my car wouldn't be noticed. Then I waited. Marlo was already in position across the street with her camera equipment. We'd coordinated everything down to the minute. 28 minutes after I'd left, Damien's silver Audi pulled into my driveway. My driveway. He had overnight bags, a bottle of wine, a bouquet of roses. The audacity of it made my jaw clench. I watched him walk up to my front door, watched my wife open it wearing a red dress I'd never seen before, watched her pull him inside with a laugh that used to be reserved for me. I sat in that parking lot for hours, engine off, phone silenced, just thinking. Marlo texted updates with photos. Them drinking wine in my living room, sitting close on my couch. I didn't need to see more. I knew where this was heading. The rage I'd expected never came. Just this cold, settled determination. Around 9 that evening, I started the car and drove back home. Pulled into my driveway right behind Damien's Audi, sat there for a moment, rehearsing what I'd say. Then I grabbed the folder from my passenger seat, the one filled with printed evidence, bank statements, legal documents, and walked to my own front door. Music was playing inside, something jazzy and romantic. I could hear laughter coming from upstairs, from my bedroom. The bedroom where I'd proposed to her on one knee 6 years ago, where we'd talked about starting a family someday, where I'd held her through her father's death and she'd sworn I was her rock, her everything. I unlocked the door quietly, stepped inside and climbed the stairs. Each step felt surreal, like I was walking through someone else's nightmare. The bedroom door was half open. I could see candlelight flickering against the walls. My walls. My candles, probably the ones from the anniversary dinner she'd ignored. I pushed the door fully open and just stood there. The scene froze like someone had hit pause on a movie. Sienna's face drained of every drop of color. Damien scrambled, trying to cover himself, eyes wide with panic. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Then Sienna found her voice, shaky and desperate. Curtis, what are you're supposed to be? How did you? I stepped into the room calmly, folder in hand, and smiled. Not a happy smile. Something colder. Surprised to see your roommate home? Damien tried to bolt for the door. I stepped sideways, blocking his path. Not so fast, Damien. We're all going to have a nice conversation. You want it to be in my house? In my bed? Then you're going to stay and face me like a man. He froze, looking between me and Sienna like a trapped animal. Sienna's shock transformed into panic, then suddenly tears. The performance was almost believable. Curtis, baby, this isn't what it looks like. I can explain everything. Please, just listen. I opened the folder and pulled out the first photo. Them kissing outside a hotel. Dropped it on the bed, really, because it looks exactly like what it is. I pulled out more photos, spreading them across the bed like playing cards. Each one a different betrayal. Different location. Different lie exposed. Then I started reading from the printed messages. My voice steady, emotionless. He's so pathetically clueless. Doesn't suspect a thing. I looked up at her. That was you, right? Talking about your husband while planning to betray him? Sienna's tears stopped. Her face hardened. You went through my phone? You invaded my privacy? How dare you? The victim act. Classic. How dare I? I laughed, and it sounded hollow even to my own ears. You're wearing the diamond necklace I saved 3 months to buy you. You're in the bed I sleep in every night. And you want to talk about boundaries? She switched tactics. Anger now. You're never around. You don't understand me anymore. You stopped trying. I pulled out the credit card statements. I stopped trying. Here's every romantic dinner I planned that you canceled. Every weekend trip you had excuses for. Every gift I bought while you were texting him. I pointed at Damien. And you. Let me guess. She told you we had an arrangement? That our marriage was basically over? He nodded weakly. I laughed again. And you believed her? You're stupider than I thought. You deserve each other. And I dropped the real bombs, calmly, one after another. The divorce papers are already filed. You'll be served tomorrow morning. This house? It's in my name only. Bought before we were married. You have 48 hours to get your things and leave. Every piece of evidence you're seeing right now has been submitted to the court. Oh, and those joint accounts you've been using? My lawyer had them frozen this morning pending asset division. Sienna's face went from red to white. You can't do this. This is my home. You can't just kick me out. I tilted my head. Your home? No, Sienna. You made it clear. I'm just your roommate. And roommates can be evicted. She lunged at me, hand raised to slap me. I caught her wrist easily. You don't get to play victim. You did this. You destroyed this. Damien finally spoke, his voice cracking. Look, man, I didn't know, she said. I cut him off. Save it. Your wife deserves to know too, don't you think? Bridget, right? Pretty name. She'll be getting a full report tomorrow morning, complete with photos. I'm sure she'll be very interested in where you've been spending your evenings. Damien's face went absolutely gray. You contacted Bridget? My wife? You had no right. I stepped closer to him. I had every right. She deserves to know who she's married to, just like I deserved to know. Difference is, I'm giving her the truth you both denied me. Sienna tried one last desperate play. Fine, take the house. I'll get a lawyer and take everything else. I'll ruin you in court. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Your lawyer will tell you the same thing mine told me. This state has fault-based divorce laws. Adultery matters. You'll be lucky to walk away with anything beyond your personal belongings. Oh, and about that promotion you've been so excited about? The look on her face told me she knew what was coming. Someone sent your company's HR department an anonymous tip about falsified expense reports. Those romantic hotel stays with Damien. You charged them as business expenses. That's fraud, Sienna. Corporate fraud. You're not getting promoted. You're being investigated. I'd expect a termination letter within the week.
Al watched her crumble.
Watched years of schemes and lies catch up to her in real time. Damien turned on her immediately. You told me those were legitimate work trips? You said your company approved everything? This is your fault. And just like that, they were attacking each other, blaming, screaming, the unity of their affair dissolving into accusations and panic. I walked out of my bedroom and left them to it. Didn't look back. Grabbed the bag I'd already packed and drove to a hotel downtown. That night, lying in a strange bed, staring at an unfamiliar ceiling, I felt something I hadn't expected. Not happiness. Not satisfaction. Just peace. The weight of pretending, of not knowing, of carrying a dying marriage on my back, it was gone. I could breathe again. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. Clean break. Sienna lost her job exactly as predicted, moved back in with her parents 2 states away. Damien's wife took everything in their divorce at a house. Primary custody of their 2 kids, most of their savings. Karma's funny that way. Sienna and Damien tried to make their relationship work after everything fell apart. Lasted 3 weeks before they imploded. Turns out relationships built on betrayal don't have strong foundations. Who knew? I kept the house, kept my career, kept my dignity. Started going to therapy to process everything the healthy way. Reconnected with friends I'd neglected while trying to save a marriage that was already dead. My work actually improved without the constant emotional drain. And yeah, I started dating again. Her name's Freya. She's a marine biologist with a sharp sense of humor and a refreshing commitment to honest communication. We're taking it slow. No rush, no pressure. Just two people actually seeing each other, actually choosing each other every day. Last week, I ran into Sienna at a coffee shop downtown. She looked exhausted, worn down, wearing a retail uniform with a NAMA tag. She tried to approach me, said she needed closure, wanted to apologize properly. I looked at her, this person who'd once been my entire world, and felt nothing.